Hi. So we just tried to go on the page and the technology didn't work. How ironic is that? So lovely Amy has asked me to come into group to talk about identifying your ideal clients and why I feel that it's important. So I'll wait to see if anyone joins us. And if you're here, just let us know that you are here. I'll just wait for a few more minutes. And if you are here, just pop in the comments. Not that I can see the comments actually, so I'm going to put them on my phone just in case. So if you are here, do say. I'm going to go into my comments because I can't see any comments for some odd reason. Technology doesn't want to work today. Right, so I've got it on my phone so I can see you. So yeah. So yeah, Amy has asked me, so if I keep looking down it's because I'm looking at my phone, okay, just to check out the comments. So Amy's has asked me to come on board into her group, or originally was in her page, to talk about identifying your ideal clients, or I call them soulmate clients, and why it's really important as part of your business, and will kind of glue everything together. So your marketing and the look and feel of everything, and how your business will be so much easier when you really nail your ideal client. So I'll give you a little bit of background about me. I started in business 10 years ago. I'm just going to keep looking. I started in business 10 years ago as a virtual assistant, purely by accident. I was pregnant and then I was on maternity leave and I got bored and I just needed to kind of engage my brain a little bit. So I looked for stuff that I could do online and I found virtual assistant. So I kind of mingled my way through the last 10 years, I'd say probably 9 years. Wanting to help everybody and scared of putting myself in what's called a niche and all of that, thinking that I was going to alienate people. And my brand was all over the place. I changed my website about too many times to even remember. I changed the colours of my branding, I don't know how many times, and it was all because I didn't really know who my clients were. I knew that I wanted to help people. I knew that I wanted to help people with their admin or the technology or whatever, and I was just helping everybody that came to me. And I kept looking at these big people and I really wanted to be like them, but for some reason things weren't gluing together and things weren't working. And it was only until probably maybe about April that I was forced to step back from my business, because I had issues with my spine, hence you can see this lovely scar here. So I went on holidays and I needed to take a step back from a business. I physically couldn't do anything because I was in so much pain. I couldn't sit at my desk all day, and I was fed up. I was ready to give it all in, but because I've got a child who's autistic, I couldn't go to a normal job. I can't go to a normal job because he needs me to take him to hospital appointments, and plus all of my family are 300 miles away, so I didn't have an option to go to work. So I knew I really needed to make this work, and I knew that I had this massive operation looming, which was 6 weeks ago, and I knew that I couldn't give it all up. I've worked so hard for what I've achieved, even though I didn't quite get there where I needed to be. I was working so hard all of the time and I thought I can't give all of this up. So I decided, well, I was forced really to take a step back. We went on holidays. The whole of the holidays, my husband was poorly and he wasn't with us. He was in bed the whole time, raging temperature in like 47 degrees or something, or 37 in Mallorca. And this was the summer just gone. And the whole time I was there, I kept reading some books and writing things out and just really kind of doing some soul searching and trying to figure out who I wanted to be. And part of that was figuring out who I really loved working with. And I wrote out everything about, well, I kind of put a person in my mind, and it was one of the clients that I was working with at the time, and I still do. And she was my ideal client. So I described her, I described what she looked like, I described the language that she uses, I described the problems that she has and how I solve them. And actually, that was me 10 years ago when I started my business and I didn't have a clue. So I was that, I am my ideal client. So I started out in business. I didn't know how to put a website together. I didn't have the first clue of doing my business online. And I didn't have the money to actually put up the money up front to get somebody to help me. So I needed to do it fast and I needed to figure out the way how to do it. So I used to spend hours and hours and hours on YouTube and Googling and trying to figure it all out. And I thought, you know what, I wanted to plug that gap. So that's how my ideal client was born. And before that, I didn't know, I kept struggling about things like, what do I put on my social media? I didn't know what my message was. And because I didn't know who I was trying to target, I didn't know who I was talking to. And the minute I scaled that down, something just clicked. Everything just clicked. Straight away, I knew how I wanted my business to look in terms of the look and feel, the colours I was using. I knew what language I needed to use because I knew the language that my clients use when they're looking for help and when they are facing troubles in their businesses. So I knew what I was looking for. I knew the messages that I need to put out there that would resonate with my ideal clients, my soulmate clients. So by knowing who they are and what their struggles are, I knew where they hung out. I knew what groups they were. So I was no longer in groups that contained other VAs. I was in groups that they were joining to look to solve their problems. So let me give you an example. One of my clients works with women who are in their between 40s and 50s, and she is kind of like a life coach, and she deals with things like how your mood affects your cycles, for example. And she didn't know where her clients would hang out. So I was like, well, think about the problems that these women face like at that age in their life. So they could be late 40s, 50s. So I was like, you need to be in places like menopausal groups, for example, or think about the hobbies that they like, you know, and just kind of think outside the box. Don't think about looking for groups that are say, for me, I didn't want to go into groups where there was loads of VA because I am a VA. Think about where my clients hang out, that they are looking for the answers for their problems. So I would go to groups that are maybe full of coaches, because coaches are my ideal clients. So then what I would do is just scroll through the messages that they post in the groups and kind of answer their questions. So I was letting them know that I was there. So straight away, as soon as I discovered who my ideal clients were, I knew exactly where they hung out, because I knew what their challenges and their frustrations were. So I'm just going to check on my phone to see if there's any comments, because I totally can't see any. So if you do have any questions along the way, then just say. Oh, thanks. As are you, Sarah. So yes, so you're amazing as well with everything that you do. And Kim, do you know what it is? And it is a really good way of coming up with it. I think we all have this amazing idea of, well, if you call it amazing, stupid really, of wanting to start our own business. And we know what we're good at, but we don't really know who we want to work with. And sometimes by saying, right, for me, I only want to work with women. And straight away I was like, oh my God, what if men want to work with me? I'm totally alienating them. But I just knew that I totally get women. I knew what I know, like obviously I'm a woman, so I know what my challenges are. And by having women who are my ideal clients, they understand my challenges. They understand that perhaps I can't take phone calls outside of school hours because it's just not going to be, it's just not good. It's not going to be productive. So they have no issues of organising calls and things around my children, as I have the same appreciation for them. So sometimes if you are struggling to think about things, like if you're struggling to put your message out there on social media and you're sitting there and every day the messages you put out are a struggle, and you really have to think long and hard, what content am I putting out there? What do I even blog about? What do I put on my Instagram? What do I put on my Facebook? Then it's quite possibly you haven't got your ideal client nailed. So go back to the drawing board and really kind of map out who they are, give them a name, give them an age, write, like describe them, draw a picture of them. And seriously, that is just so powerful. And I know that sounds stupid, but it really is. Like, just go back to the bare basics of your business and think about who you want to work with, what their struggles are, how you can help them. And it might just be one thing, but then obviously that kind of helps you get more of attraction, and it then really makes your content come to life and really makes it easy for you because you know how to attract them. So since I'll give you some facts. I'm going to look on my phone to make sure there's no comments. Since the summer, when I stepped back and I got complete clarity, I decided to start my Facebook group. I had a Facebook group, which I've had for 3 years, but I didn't do anything about it, maybe 2 years, and I didn't do anything about it. Initially, it started as a way for people to grow their Facebook group, so we could all go in and, or their Facebook page, we could all go in and post a link to our post and get people to like them, which was just stupid, really, if I think about it. But that's because I knew I wanted a group and I knew I wanted to get an audience, but I didn't know who my ideal client was. So therefore I didn't know what content to put in. So I stepped back and instantly I thought, right, this is the number one problem that my clients have. And this is what I'm going to do about it. So the biggest thing at that time was membership sites. People wanted a passive income and they wanted it to be affordable. So at the time, the big thing was membership sites. So straight away, I put together a 5-day membership challenge. So it made people think about how to grow their membership club if they wanted a membership club. So I knew the language I wanted to use. I knew what their problems were. I knew how to solve them. So I just put together a free challenge. I told my group what I was going to do. If you wanted to stay, you can stay. If you didn't, you didn't. And I changed the whole ethos of the group. And then I started being visible, because then I knew who I wanted to attract. Again, we go back to the language. I knew what language I was using. So I was being visible. I started being visible on Instagram because I knew my ideal clients were on Instagram. And I was active in certain groups that I knew that my soul clients were hanging out. So I was visible all of the time. And I kept plugging people back to my group. And I think I started out probably, where are we now? December. I think I started out August with about 100 people in my group with zero engagement at all. And now I have nearly 900 in my group, and it's super engaging. It's amazing and I love it. And everybody just loves being part of it, and everybody helps each other. And because I knew who my ideal client was, it's just a super powerful place to be. So that is how powerful, knowing who your soul client is. And then not just that, my email list has tripled. My income has kind of grown by about 1,000%, because I wasn't really making a lot of money before, because I didn't have my pricing strategy down right either. And all of that, once you know who your soulmate client is, everything, your pricing, your message, your branding, everything's just easier. And that's how my business, like that's how I really transformed my business, was to step away from it instead of being in it all of time, stepping away from it and then get complete clarity of who I am, who my soulmate clients are, and how I can help them. So I'm going to check some comments, and really, if you have any questions, then obviously you can ask away. Yeah, Amy, do you know what? I'm the same. I've got a few male clients who keep coming back, and I don't mind working with them, but I just don't actively say, right, I work with men as well. I just find by saying I work with women, my whole marketing message is easier, and I just know what their problems are. Yeah, so you just can't do, everything just gets muddled if you don't know who you're working for. Everything gets muddled, your message, your website, even the look and feel of your site. And you know that, Amy, you're the branding expert. So you know, when you do nail it, you proper nail it, and it's just amazing. It's an amazing feeling. Sarah, yours is a bit different, I suppose, because you do have different people that you do target, but the message is still the same. So even though you may be targeting parents and teachers and experts, then your message still comes back to the same thing. So your branding is on point, your message is exactly the same, but you're just kind of targeting different people with the different things that you put out there. So I think yours is a bit unique. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, the thing is though, Sarah, you can have different sites for each, which would be fine. But then I would still say you don't have like different Instagram, don't have a different page, because you're just diluting everything. And there's nothing wrong with having the same platform that talks to different people, just means that your message is stronger. And I know you have different groups and whatnot. I mean, that's different because obviously you discuss different things. But yeah, I mean, I think it's just figuring out what works for you. So yeah, same general blanket over the top, and you do different things with different people. Exactly. Like I have the same message. So I've got my tech club, and my Facebook group, but then I also have the clients that I work for one-to-one. So the message is the same. I'm still attracting these people, but I'm just attracting them in different ways. So yeah, so I guess it's the same thing works for you, but you still know who you're attracting. You still know who you want to attract, and you still know who your soulmate clients are. You might have a few of them, but you still know who they are. So yeah, so I think, I mean, if you have any questions, then ask. And I'm still having to check my phone because it's not on my screen. And if you don't know where to find me, I've got a Facebook group, as I said, and it's called the Tech Angel Club, so you can just search for that. I've got an online tech club, which is now closed until the new year, but you can get yourself on the waiting list. So you can go to my website, which is www.kellycairns.co.uk. So if you have any questions, I'll keep coming back and answering them for you, or you can just come along to the group and just kind of brainstorm there. Yeah, I agree with Amy. I think you need to think about, like, obviously you need to think about your overall message and whether or not you can deliver what you deliver in one place. So for example, my VIP club, I decided not to have a separate group for my VIP members and keep them in my free group. I just thought, one, I haven't got the time to manage two groups. Two, I would just be sending the same messages in the same group. So I didn't really want to dilute everything. The engagement was amazing, or still is amazing, in the group. So I didn't want to kind of take that away from people. And also kind of, it really helps the marketing, because the VIP people in my group talk about the VIP club, and then the non-members see that and get interested. So I think it's quite a good marketing ploy, really. Oh, thanks, Amy. So yeah, so that's how I came up with my ideal client. And I do have an ideal client, a soulmate client workbook, which I will probably I'll give to Amy, and then she can kind of send it out if she wants to send it out, and pop the link wherever. So yeah, I thought, you know what, I didn't think about it being clever at the time. I just thought I have got the time to do 2 groups at once. So, and I'm sorry I keep looking down, because I just have no comments on my screen at all. So yeah, so I've got identifying your soul client workbook that I'm happy to give you. That's what's in my VIP club as part of one of the content materials in there. But I'm happy to give it to you, so you can have a look at and download. So obviously, if you're watching the replay, let me know, and I'll just keep coming back throughout the day and checking if there's any comments. If you have any questions and you've watched the replay, then do that, or you can come over to my group, as I say. So I just wanted to say thank you, Amy, for inviting me, and even though we had a little bit of tech issue with the other page, that's fine. We're here now, and that's the main thing. So yeah, so if you have any questions, pop them in. If you watch the replay, let me know, and I'll just keep coming back. So have a great Thursday.